Hi everybody, my name is Garth Harwood. I'm the director of our education programs here at Hidden Villa. You may have heard before that animals and plants have external and internal structures that help them grow, to survive, and to reproduce. Today we're going to look at one of the most external structures of them all, antlers and horns. A lot of animals have these. But what are they really all about? Are they just hood ornaments, or do they actually have a use? Well, it turns out they have a lot of uses. They also have a lot of similarities and some differences. So first, let me tell you a little bit about horns. This is a cow horn, but here at Hidden Villa we also have some sheep that have horns. Horns stay on an animal for its entire life. They're hollow inside, but they have a bone that projects from the skull up into them, and they don't come off like this until the animal has died. Antlers are a very different story. Instead of being hollow, they're solid, and every year, in almost all the species that have them, they drop off to the ground and have to be regrown again each year. I want you to think about what that would be like for a minute. What if you had to wear one of these, like this elk antler, on each side of your head everywhere you went? If I had these glued to my head, I think I'd get tired of it really quickly. My arm's getting a little bit tired even right now. If I had two of them on my head, I probably couldn't walk anywhere in the forest at all. I'd be so wide. It's pretty expensive to wear these all the time. So what do they do about that? Well, once they're done with them for the season, they drop them off, and that's why we so often find them without a skull attached. If an animal's skull is found still holding antlers or horns, we know it died during the season of the fall and winter when their antlers are fully developed. Well, I mentioned to you that horns are hollow and stay on all life, and that antlers fall off. Also, that antlers are solid. But what are they for? Well, it turns out they're not just ornaments. Animals that wear these can survive better when they have nice strong antlers for a couple of reasons. They can sometimes brush snow away or otherwise get access to food they couldn't get to without them. But probably the most important thing they're useful for is for marking territory by banging up against vegetation. In fact, this antler, when we found it, still smelled like fresh plants because it had some green stuff stuck to it from rubbing on some plants. So that is a kind of territorial marking that says, this is the place I care about. If you want to visit here too, you have to mess with me. But still another reason is for display. If you are showing one of these great big beautiful antlers, you're probably going to be a pretty tough customer to mess with if somebody wants to fight with you. Sometimes just having all that stuff up there is enough all by itself to avoid having a fight. And that's a really good thing to avoid. These two deer were very unlucky indeed. They had such a brutal fight that their antlers bent around each other, locked together, and both animals died because they could not get their antlers apart. So you can see, it's probably a pretty good idea to avoid a fight whenever you can. Well, as you can see, horns and antlers are actually useful tools to animals. They help them grow, they help them survive, and they're useful in displays and for marking territory. So now I want to finish up with a couple of questions for you. Let's see if you can remember what are some differences between horns and antlers, and what are their main uses. This is Garth from Hidden Villa saying, thanks for listening, folks.